All right, what's up, traders? We've got the watch list video here for Wednesday, April 15th, showing you the SPY gapped up, sold off, and then closed pretty strong. So the market's still climbing. It definitely feels like, this right here was the COVID-19 bottom. No idea what to expect tomorrow or any other day, but I'll just do what I always do, build a watch list. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not in love with this watch list. Not a lot of standouts in this watch list. Not a lot of standouts when I did scans tonight as far as stocks that are kind of on the cusp of a breakout, right? So, in this one, let's start with BLPH. This one really is on the cusp of a breakout. I talked about it in the video last night. I liked it. I knew it was going to gap up because in after hours it was gapping. I liked it, if some buyers stepped up, but on a 5-minute basis, there's just never any setup. It opened here, sold off, and then, went sideways along the lows of the day for most of the day. Never came close to giving me any kind of a setup. I'm putting it back on watch tomorrow, though, because, again, if this one can catch a bid, like maybe get through 14 tomorrow with some fervor, we've got yesterday's high at 14.29 just above. To me, it's still a possible squeeze. And it's the beauty of being an all-cash every night trader, right? You can populate charts with stuff like this that, maybe has a whatever percent chance of actually triggering and giving you an A+ setup, but it doesn't cost you anything to put it on a chart, right? And you can sleep well at night. So, and that's kind of what I mean. I don't really have a lot of charts that I'm in love with tomorrow, or really maybe any. I do like CODX. It started to curl up yesterday. Today, a little bit of a gap up in a pretty narrow range. This one just goes back on long watch. I'm looking for maybe a retest of this 1120 high, and above that certainly could be considered a catalyst. So we're going to put that one on watch. PSTI, really extended from the moving averages. By the way, for those of you in chat today, I was waiting for, I'm looking into a generator. I was waiting for the generator guy to show up, and I went like 3 or 4 hours without taking a trade because it was just a sideways choppy day. And literally, this thing comes up, and I thought, hey, if this one, if PSTI gets a little momentum here, it might finally get going. I literally called it in chat, took the trade, and right after I pressed buy, I heard the guy's car door shut. He was here. So I pressed sell, and maybe made $30 in a few seconds or something stupid like that. But I had to go. I'm not going to be in an open position while I'm walking around outside with somebody, right? And anyway, it didn't. At least I didn't come back to my office in the after hours and see this up at $10. I probably would have been upset. Anyway, let's switch to 15-minute candles here. I still like this, really strong, right? It had the gap up here, straw move, but gave a lot of it back. But then the next day, gapped up again, then sold off today, but ended up taking out its high. So bulls keep pushing this thing higher, and I just think one of these days we might get a nice long trade. Again, it's extended from moving averages, so certainly not in love with it. REI is nothing I would ever look at, but in after hours, this went up to like $1.20 before settling in at 82 cents. Which is probably somewhere about right here, maybe. So I'm going to watch it. Not even sure what the news was, but I'm going to watch it for a potential gap play tomorrow. Airlines. Airlines got a pop today on some after hours news. The government working with them on sending them money and so on. So anyway, closed at 11.94. I've just chosen one airline, American Airlines AAL, to watch. Closed at 11.94. Right now in after hours trading at 13.33. See, this high back here was 13.40. So right now it's trading about here. It's certainly worth watching all the airlines tomorrow. This is an obscure one. This is TLRY, but it had a huge move back here on massive volume. Then pulled back, has been kind of riding the 8-day ever since. And I kind of like it over this kind of week. Let me go to 15-minute candles. This is okay. You can kind of see it here. So there's the big push. And then you kind of have a rounded bottom forming. Looks like it topped out around 750 back here a few days ago. Today popped up and topped around 730. I don't know. If you can get above this kind of, you could also argue 15-minute if you blur your own vision, an inverse head and shoulders here. So anyway, maybe over today's high tomorrow or over 750. Tilray might get some legs. It's not a beautiful chart, and just kind of a good example of when I say I'm not in love with this list, I'm kind of reaching here, right? CAPR, I've been watching for this little sideways flag after this pop. It had a pop back here. Anyway, on this day, 4 days ago, it hit 185 and actually hit that exact same number again today. So over 185, maybe we head up and test this 225. I'm not in love with that one either. Heck, I'm not in love with any of them. That one's on watch. NNDM spike back here, lower high here. Looked like it was going to roll over and then starting to curl back up. So I do like and you see the nice volume on the green days. I do like the looks of this chart. TLSA, not to be confused with Tesla. And here's the thing. A lot of seasoned traders would look at this and say, why in the hell is he looking at this long? Every time it moves, it gets slapped right back down. Every time it gaps up, it closes below its open. And if you feel that way, that's pretty astute. You're absolutely right. This is another one of those that they just slap this silly every time it gets any kind of upward momentum. So you could make an easy argument this is not worth having on long watch. I'm going to take the other side of that and say, if this gets some legs, you could have some shorts caught because of the short success every time this gaps up. One of these days, if it can, take out this 3-day high or something, you might actually get a squeeze. So that's my thinking. Odds are it won't even give us a setup unless, if it's not going to be strong, we won't even get an A+ intraday setup. And as we always say, no trigger, no trade. And then lastly, and you can tell I'm reaching now, this stock went from 20 cents to almost $1 the other day. Now you've got 3 days lower, really close to the 8 days. So this one goes on bounce watch. I'll say it one more time, broken record, not in love with this list at all, but I'm hoping we find a nice gap play tomorrow, or maybe one of these pans out fairly well. And I'm going to leave it at that. I had a very, very boring day today. I ended the day slightly green, like I could buy a sandwich or something. But you know what? I'll take that over a trading death spiral any day. So, as a day trader, you're going to have big days and you're going to have some boring days. And if you're trading right, you won't have any big losing days. So that's the goal. You don't try to make every day a big day. You try to stay where you are unless you get an A+ setup, all right? And I'm just showing you 5-minute candles here. This was the SPY. This is the market today. Gapped up, ran, went all the way to the low of day, and then took 3 or 4 hours to get back up to the high of day. And after that, chopped around for the last hour and a half. So it really, this was a very boring day. It was very hard to find anything that stood out. And that could happen again tomorrow, or we might get some beautiful trades. But again, defense first always, protect the downside, and then you nail a few good trades, every week, and you got a solid equity curve like I do. So that's my mindset going into tomorrow. I'm going to quit babbling, and I'll see y'all in chat.